Welcome to my channel. It's time for the July 2019 JW broadcast, My Rebuttal. I hope you enjoy, and thank you for watching.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Kenny.
How can we protect ourselves from being lured into sin?
So Ken Cook was talking about not being lured into sin, which is fine, but yet they have an issue with child abuse, with a two-witness rule, namely. Again, that's the Mosaic Law, and there was just recently a Watchtower study that said that the Mosaic Law ended in 33 CE when Christ died. So why are they following that in modern-day application? Deuteronomy 19:15 should not be followed in modern-day application if the Mosaic Law ended in 33 CE.
We'll begin by introducing you to two sisters who live in the United States. Early on in their lives, they were exposed to two very different views of what a family should be like. Still, they came to realize that while life may change, Jehovah doesn't.
This is my sister, Lele.
This is my sister, Mimi.
My sister, Lele, she is very caring. I know that for sure.
One thing that I appreciate about Mimi is that she have the self-sacrificing spirit. We love our family.
Yeah. What I love most about my mom is that she has a big heart.
And I know that my dad really truly loves his family.
So we got two sisters in the United States of America. And no doubt you can tell that their parents, it's not their biological parents. So you have to ask yourself if, obviously they were adopted. See, if they weren't even adopted, then they wouldn't be JWs to begin with. Say they were Chinese. And say they were born in China and didn't get adopted and had good parents in China. Would they be witnesses in China? I completely doubt it, because Matthew 24:14 is not being completed by the JWs, at least. Because look at China. How many Jehovah's Witnesses are there in China, or in Asia for that matter? I just wanted to throw that in there because you have to, if you're a Jehovah's Witness watching, think about it. The far majority of individuals are born-ins. I wasn't a born-in, but I know that when I went there when I first started studying the Bible and went to the Kingdom Hall, that pretty much everybody was a born-in. You got a few people that dated somebody that had connections to the organization. There was a few that came from house to house. But again, it all goes back to fear-mongering too. That's why Jehovah's Witnesses are Jehovah's Witnesses. Oh, if I'm not a Jehovah's Witness, I'm going to be murdered by God. See?
Sister Sophie always takes care of you, making sure you are okay.
Our family is something that we would never want to replace. To us, it's a forever family.
But it wasn't always like that.
We haven't always been sisters, already in the foster home, and then Mimi became my foster sister. We were not treated as part of their family.
We never knew what love felt like. Foster family, they would leave us by ourselves at home, and me and Lele had to take care of ourselves. And so we were very close together because we would talk to each other and just help each other out. Didn't know any English, and it was hard for my parents to know how I felt because I had a hard time expressing if I was sad or scared.
I had a difficult time to trust.
But they showed us love, and they hugged us and just made us feel like home.
As I got to know them better, and I got to see that they truly love me and that they truly treat me like their daughter, helped me to develop love and trust.
The first time I saw my mom and dad praying at the dinner meal, it was very new to me because I never knew that there was a God
I had some past experience with religion and I didn't like it. So when I first saw my mom and dad praying, I was uncomfortable with it.
They had to figure out a way to introduce their best friend, Jehovah, to us. They took us to this place called the Kingdom Hall. The first thing we felt was warmth and love.
And the second you question the teachings, the failed predictions, the child abuse, being part of the United Nations, the flip-flop in doctrines, especially the blood doctrines that where blood fractions were okay for a certain period of time, and then it wasn't, and then it was back to being okay, then the love will disappear and they'll shun you.
The love and unity of the brothers stood out to Lele and Mimi and helped them draw closer to Jehovah. One of the most underrated qualities in today's world is modesty. In fact, the world encourages the exact opposite of modesty. The world says that you are the most important person. You should promote yourself. You have no limits. You have the right to be anything you want to be. As we'll see, the world's thinking is completely backwards, and for several reasons. Really, modesty is a quality that stems from everything that is good. Our theme scripture for this discussion is Micah 6 and verse 8. He has told you what is good. And what is Jehovah requiring of you? Only to exercise justice, to cherish loyalty, and to walk in modesty with your God. Notice that modesty is one of the key aspects of what is good. To help us understand why, let's discuss 3 questions. What is modesty? Why do we want to have this quality? How can we cultivate it? First, what is modesty? Basically, it's an awareness of our limitations. Of course, we often link modesty with appropriate dress and grooming, but much more is involved. How do we know? Consider what we read at Proverbs 11 and verse 2. When presumptuousness comes, dishonor will follow, but wisdom is with the modest ones. Notice that modesty is contrasted with a negative quality, presumptuousness. A presumptuous person runs ahead without the authority to do so. He or she ignores proper boundaries and limitations. That kind of attitude often leads to foolish mistakes, a bad reputation with fellow humans, and above all, it can cause a person to lose God's favor. For example, why do we want to have this quality? The foremost reason is that modesty is essential to pleasing our Father Jehovah. Although we don't speak of Jehovah as being modest, even he works within certain limitations that he's imposed on himself.
Like protecting children in the congregation from child abuse. Oh, but he'll take care of that at Armageddon when he destroys them for leaving the organization on account of the abuse.
Do so. Aren't we grateful that he allows us to serve him because we choose to out of love and not because we are forced to?
Right. You're not forced to. You're just going to be told that you're going to be destroyed and you're going to be told you're going to be murdered by the bloodthirsty God. Yeah, that's not free will, I don't think. Come on. Think about it.
Need input or help from anyone, patiently listens and delegates. How much more should we do so, especially since we're all so imperfect and limited? Are you a family head or an elder in the congregation? Or do you have another responsible position in the organization? If so, you can imitate Jehovah by not micromanaging.
Right. It's not the elders. They never micromanage anybody. It's not like they tell everybody, hey, you need to get enough hours in field service. I don't care if you work 70 hours a week. You need to get out and go door to door and warn people. Otherwise, you're blood guilty and God's going to murder you. I mean, seriously, that's all elders do is micromanage.
To our third main point, how can we cultivate this beautiful quality? One thing we can do is to read and meditate on Bible examples, both good and bad, such as those we just discussed. Other Bible examples include Daniel, who modestly didn't take credit for the interpretation of King Nebuchadnezzar's dream. We want to give all the glory to Jehovah. We should modestly recognize that we couldn't do these things without His help. We can also study the example of Jesus, who didn't even think of trying to grasp for more authority than Jehovah had granted him. Other ways we can cultivate modesty. One is to apply the Bible's counsel found at 1 Corinthians 4, verse 6. Do not go beyond the things that are written.
Yes, do not go beyond the things that are written. The governing body are self-elected, anointed. They see themselves ruling in heaven with Jesus. And if you look at the October 2019 Watchtower study, they decided that they're going to be sharing in the War of Armageddon. Yes, they're going to slaughter all non-JWs. So they're going, and those two things going beyond, way beyond what things are written.
The way others see us. Remember, we can work to improve our Christian personality, but only if we know the areas that could use some improvement. We can't change what we don't see. A word of caution. We want to beware of false modesty. Remember that it's not about simply appearing modest, but actually being modest at heart.
Mum's been working hard lately, but I wish she worked harder for Jehovah. I try to help.
Again, I do apologize for repeating myself, but did you notice what the Australian, British, Japanese guy just said? At least that's what his accent sounded like. He goes, I wish Mum would work harder for Jehovah. And it all goes back to fear-mongering. Are you doing enough so you can survive when the end comes in 1975? I mean, again, you're never good enough. You always have to be perfect.
Okay, here we go. I say hello. She says something clever. I try to leave, so this is different. She's having trouble in math and needs my help. I don't want to be rude, but if I help her with her homework, how far could the relationship develop? How do you say no to a girl like her?
So here, I believe the cult is, the JW.org is saying, well, you have to be a witness in order to resist temptation. And that couldn't be further from the truth, because I remember in school there was times where I resisted, and I was not a witness. So I know from my own personal experience, you don't have to resist temptation to be a Jehovah's Witness. You don't have to be.
Reminded that getting involved with someone who doesn't share Jehovah's values could eventually lead to sin. Having modesty protected him from such dire consequences. By his decision, we could see our young brother's faith in action. Faith in Action is also the name of one of the museums at our world headquarters in Warwick, New York. Have you had an opportunity to visit? If not, we'd like to take you there right now. And even if you have visited, you'll enjoy these reminders.
What are we doing today as an organization?
Well, when it comes to child abuse, you're not doing anything.
Faith in Action point to the Faith in Action Museum. Note that important descriptive word, action. Notice how the committees work together to accomplish their goals. The Faith in Action Museum is divided into 4 galleries. Show love, meet together, take in spiritual food, and make disciples. As you walk through the galleries, notice how each of them is connected by a JW blue ribbon. So,
Fool, ass, halfwit, nincompoop, dunce, dolt, ignoramus, cretin, imbecile, dullard, moron. Moron. Simpleton, clod, dope, ninny, chump, dimwit, nitwick, goon, dumbo, dum-dum, dumbbell, loon, jackass, bonehead, fathead, numbskull, blockhead, dunderhead, chucklehead, knucklehead, muttonhead, puddinghead, thickhead, woodenhead, airhead, pinhead, lame brain, pea brain, bird brain, zombie, jerk, nerd, dipstick, donkey, noodle, nit, twit, numpty, clot, plonker, burk, prat, pillock, wally, git, wazak, divvy, nurk, twerp, twonk, Charlie, mug, muppet, knife, balloon, sump, gawk, gobdaw, smuck, bozo, boob, lamer, turkey, shelper, chowderhead, dumbhead, dummy, goofball, goof, goofus, galoot, dork, lummox, klutz, putz, schmeal, sap, gink, cluck, clunk, ding dong, dingbat, wiener, weenie, dip, simp, spud, coot, palooka, poop, squarehead, yo-yo, dingleberry, wingnut, drongo, dill, alec, gala, nang, bogan, poon, boofhead, mampura, tomfool. You've heard the term tomfoolery. Noddy, clodpole, loggerhead, spoony, mooncalf.
so if you get lost, just follow the blue ribbon.
Good morning. My name is Daryl Wildberg, and as you can see, I am a Jehovah's Witness in good standing.
As Jesus commanded at John 13:35.
With that scripture in mind, please enjoy the music video for this month entitled, Be Courageous and Strong.
It's dark outside to start the day. She humbly starts to pray before her kids at school. Every brotherhood, Father, help us be faithful when things make it hard to go. She never thinks of losing hope, never stops being kind in that song. It's always on her mind. I will make you strong, do not be afraid. I will be with you. I will be your aid. Be courageous and strong. It's her favorite song. And he will make you firm. And he will make you strong. Time to get on her feet, try to make ends meet. Never sure what to expect. Her true friends out there really show her they care, though she never meets their friends. She's soaring to rise up high, like eagles in the sky. Oh, the role she plays, so little time each day. And in her heart she starts to pray, aching feet and tired hands. She tries the very best she can, but the strength she can find in that song, it's always on her mind. I will make you strong, do not be afraid. I will be with you, I will be your aid. Courageous and strong, it's her favorite song. And he will make you firm, and he will make you strong. And he will make you firm, and he will make you strong.
Month, you'll find an exciting report on video on demand. It's about the work of the publishing committee of the governing body, so tune in again for that. To conclude, let's visit our brothers and sisters in Tasmania, Australia. Tasmania is Australia's smallest state and is an island located about 240 kilometers or 150 miles south of the mainland. Despite its small landmass, it's known for its very diverse landscape, featuring beautiful yet rugged mountain, lake, and coastal landscapes. The Central Plateau is a prominent feature of Tasmania thanks to its more than 4,000 lakes of glacial origin. This island is home to close to 1,800 publishers in 22 congregations, and this is the Huonville congregation. They care for Australia's southernmost territory. Although their territory is vast, and many of the publishers... Until next month, this is JW Broadcasting from the world headquarters of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Well, thank you so much for watching. You have a nice day now.